So guys, travel is opening up again, airports are getting full, and perhaps you've got a few holiday destinations in your mind. Well, the only thing left, of course, is to decide which lenses you want to bring with you. That is a tough one, but today I'm going to be sharing with you my number one recommended Soviet lens for traveling. Let's get into it. So guys, just last week I was in Malaysia, in fact, on a bit of a work conference, but I managed to get some holiday time in there as well. And I was initially only going to bring carry-on. So I was thinking, well, what lens am I going to bring? You know, carry-on these days got like a 7-kilo limit. And you want to be careful with not bringing too many lenses, maybe even only bringing one lens. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to take one Soviet lens to go with my Nikon Z6. But which lens to take? It is the eternal question whenever you go traveling. Of course, it would be nice to bring every single one of my lenses, but unfortunately, that's just not possible, particularly when a lot of lenses can be quite bulky and quite heavy as well. So what lens did I bring? Well, I brought, in my opinion, what is the top Soviet travel lens for any sort of lightweight traveler. It is, of course, the Industar 52. This is the most serially produced M42 camera lens in the world, and it is just perfect if you want to travel with a camera and with a full frame lens that is nice and light and nice and travel friendly. Of course, you can see from the lens itself, it is very, very compact, 30 centimeters by 50 centimeters. And that just makes it one of the smallest lenses which you can put on modern cameras. It is a pancake lens. And of course, I do use an M42 to Nikon Z adapter, which makes it a tiny bit bulkier. But overall, this lens only weighs 75 grams with both of those front and rear caps on it, which is, I mean, you can get pens that weigh more than this lens. It's as simple as that. But of course, weight is not the only thing that comes into consideration when you are traveling. Of course, that makes it a pretty good, pocket lens to have. But there's some other features that I really think lend this Industar 52 to being a perfect kind of travel or on-the-go lens. Well, what are they? Of course, first up is the lens's focal length. It is a 50mm lens, and the 50mm focal range is really great for walking around a new city, capturing some street photography. You can use it for anything from street photography to architecture to even some sort of cityscapes. Maybe you want to take some photos of your food in the city. It doesn't really matter, but the Industar 52 will allow you a lot of flexibility with that 50mm focal length. So aside from that, one of the other big things which when I was thinking about traveling with a lens is, of course, how much does the lens cost? And particularly when you're talking about, putting lenses in luggage, which maybe sometimes you might have to do, and that luggage may be getting lost. And yes, you can have insurance, but it's always a bit of a concern. And for me, that's where the Industar again shines, because it is one of the cheapest full frame camera lenses that you can buy on the market. I actually got mine for free when I purchased another lens. It was a sort of freebie thrown in. That's how common these lenses are. But if you want to buy one yourself, you can get them still on eBay at the moment for around the $20, maybe even $30 now mark. And that means that if you do have a bit of a luggage mishap, if you say forget this lens or even, hopefully not, even if you get it stolen, it is not going to be a big hit to your back pocket, which is, of course, what you want when you're traveling. Now, as well as that, this lens is a very sharp lens. Of course, it wouldn't be purposeful bringing a lens traveling with you if you couldn't capture beautiful shots. And the Industar 52 does not disappoint there either. When you stop this lens down to f4, ideally about f5.6, you're going to get a very high amount of resolution in this lens. I've shot photos with this Industar 52. I'll put it up now, that I've printed up to A0 size. We're talking photos that are a meter wide, and the resolution of this lens is not an issue when you're doing that. So in terms of resolution, it certainly has enough. Now, some of the negatives of the Interstar 52, if you are bringing it traveling, it's not a particularly great video lens, just because of the ergonomics of it, of course. It's got such a small focus ring, it can get quite fiddly, and the aperture ring is really, you have to stop, twiddle it around whilst the camera is kind of very close to you. You're not going to be able to do that when you're shooting video. So for a vlogging lens, if you want to do that, well, Interstar 52 is probably not my top choice. Maybe you want to look at something like the Mir 10A as well, but I will say that Soviet lenses are probably not my top pick as vlogging lenses, mainly because they don't have autofocus, unless of course you're using a special adapter like I am right now. But that's beside the point. Overall, you can see from the photos here that I was taking out in Malaysia in the streets of Kuala Lumpur, that you can get some very nice looking photos on the Interstar and on a Nikon Z6. And really, at the end of the day, that's what travel photography is all about. It's about having fun. And that's the last reason why I recommend the Interstar 52 as the Soviet lens to travel with, because it just feels like a lens that it brings you joy when you photograph with it. It is so pure. It is purely metal, purely glass, and it really creates some unique and characterful photos when you're shooting with it. You can get some vignette by stopping it down to f3.5 and a bit of depth of field. You can go a little bit more clinical by stopping it to f5.6 or maybe even f8. But what is ubiquitous amongst all of those different aperture ranges is that it is very fun to have on the end of your camera and to be shooting with. And, well, it's just going to make your holiday better, in my opinion. So there we go, guys. Quick little video today about my favorite Soviet lens to travel with. What is your favorite lens to travel with? Let me know in the comments below, and give us a subscribe as well. Make sure you hit the bell to be notified whenever a new Soviet lens review comes out. But until the next time, I'll see you then.